Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. So, because I did not. All right. So, here is a recap of my trading session today. For some reason, I was having problems with logging into my brokerage account, so I wasn't able to trade on my take these trades actually, but I did still tape read and watch price action because you can never go wrong with sitting in front of the market and studying and watching the moves play out like how you anticipate them. So even though I wasn't able to make no money on these trades, it was still a W day as far as my analysis. We are going to get into that right now. So speeding it up here, I've seen price fall down into this area of fair value in which it had already ran or sell side liquidity to the left. And so now I was anticipating, if we look at the chart on the right, I was anticipating for price to trade back to the midnight opening price. Midnight opening price is a great target for when you are below the market and you are looking to buy to get out of the market. So with this move, I entered here on this 15-second breaker. Initially my stop loss was below here, but once I looked to the 1 minute chart on the right side, I uh then adjusted my stop loss to include the bottom of this buy side and balance sell side efficiency, which isn't marked out. But if you go to the Nasdaq chart, you will be able to see the buy side and balance sell side efficiencies low, which came in I think at like 871.25. Yeah, this is me right here looking at that low, 871.25, to give myself a little bit room and give the trade a little bit more room to breathe. I think at this point this was like a 5-to-1 trade, and it didn't necessarily I didn't want to stop myself out of this move. So I wanted to give myself a chance, knowing that the target price was already bullish. The other indexes were also trading higher, so I wanted to give myself a little bit more room for this trade. So I did move my stop loss. You'll see me move my stop loss here in a bit. Um, but as you can see to the right, the chart is basically in a high resistance phase of the market where it's not really trending in either direction. You see a lot of wicks back and forth, and this indicates that there could be some exhaustion in the bullish run, but I still held this idea that we were trading higher because the other indexes had room to trade higher as well, at least at this moment in price action. So yeah, we're coming up on a 730 mark in price, and I'm just anticipating this area right here in price to hold. As of right now, this me marking out this area right here is an indication of me anticipating this to become an inversion fair value gap, in which I would look to add more positions to once price trades through this and comes back to find support. So this is me anticipating where I could possibly scale into my trade. You see, I changed that to an inversion fair value gap because again, price had already traded into this fair value gap here and found some support to trade lower, to trade below these lows. So I was looking for this to continue to be an important area in price. Once price does come through it, trade above it, and then trade back down into it. That would have been where I was looking to put on more position at. And with me extending the blue shaded area, which is also the gap, me shading this blue shaded area was also uh, my awareness that price would probably be stuck inside of these two price points right now, these two shaded areas, to further consolidate. Now we see that flip, we getting a change over. So I would have been looking to buy inside of this inversion gap. And as you can see, price completely flips that inversion fair value gap, closing back below it once more. So at this point, now I'm looking, and I'm starting to believe that we will probably be getting stopped out of this trade. So Just watching it play out right now. At any Not at any time did I see this move to be in a time where we would put on more positions. Like if it was to come back down into that fair value gap, I wasn't looking to put on more positions here. I did see that once price had taken this, I started to anticipate that once price had taken this area of buy side liquidity, and once price take this buy side liquidity here, this also could be a possible thing, run that can happen. We trade below these lows and continue our bullish run higher. So at this point, I am stopped out of the trade because it did trade below the low of that fair value gap. But in my mind, this is still a bullish sentiment is still in the market. We are still in a bullish structure, and so the trade below this low was would have been allowed for in my mind. So now I'm waiting for, again, we're stopped out at this moment. Now I'm waiting for price to show me that, this was just a stop hunt and price is still bullish. So we get that shift inside of the range right here. And now we have made a higher high here on this. I also am looking to the right on this 5 minute time frame on this chart and see that, we are still, again, respecting this bullish order block. So with that, my intention is now to get in on a continuation higher with a trade down into this order block. You will see me place the trade here or drop the long position tool here, indicating that this is where I would have taken the trade, placed the trade at. That was where I would have placed my stop loss at. And you see me marking out the order block, the propulsion block for higher prices. I want to be seeing price hold at this propulsion block. And also I have moved my stop to that level right there. And again, the profit target is still that midnight opening there. That black line that you see here on the right chart where it says 12 EST, that is still our target. So now we see that prices, we're seeing some momentum away from the entry point. I'm marking out this area right here because this will be my bearish breaker or my bullish breaker where I will want to see price hold. Now that where this area was the point in which price caused the down move to trade below these lows. And now that it has started to trade above it, I want to see price being held above this area in price right here. So this is me marking out that breaker. You see we get a trade below here, but this is the 15 seconds, so we allow for a little bit more range. As you can see on the left side, on the right chart, this down move and back into this order block, this propulsion block is also allowed for. My real idea is that as long as price is held above here, we are still bullish. Now I'm looking for reasons to, I took that breaker off because it did not hold in the way I would have anticipated it. So I'm marking out this black line to indicate a change in the state of direction so that we will now, I want to see price start to trade higher above and close above this black line for me to start being confident that we are in fact still bullish. So as you can see, we come back into this shaded area and we just still holding, waiting for price to show us that it is showing some bullish momentum. Being patient, not moving my stop too soon. Um, at this point, I don't even believe it should come back below this low, and that's why I did not place my stop below this low. I wanted it to be below the low of the first candle that formed the structure shift. We're still just allowing for price to do its thing right now. I'm not in a rush to put on any more to scale into this position until I see what I want to see that would indicate to me that I am on the right side of the market. And then that's when I will start to add on more to my trade. So we now start to get that push higher. We get that trade above that area that I was looking for. And so now that I've gotten that run above that area that I'm looking for to indicate that price is still bullish, you will see me mark out where I would now take start to add to my position. I mark out that shaded area right there as a breakaway gap. I don't want to see price coming into that gap. And so this indicates to me bullish strength at this moment. Here where price starts, when price trades above that new range, now I'm anticipating this is a new range. So I'm going to scale in here. Once that candle closes, I will scale in there. And that's me adding. So right at that candle opening, I would scale it in. I would have added more to my position. And now I want to see price continue to run higher. We get that jump higher, back above those highs. You see price trades back into that area that I did not want to see it trade back into. So now ultimately I want to see price begin to trade higher from this moment. On Nasdaq on the right chart, you will see that price actually never did come back into that area. So this was actually a manipulation move lower in the micro E-mini Nasdaq futures market, but not inside of the E-mini. As you can see, it never comes. If you look on the right side of that chart, it never comes back into that area, which I'm looking at. I have the crosshair, so I know that that's a good bullish sign as well. So that is me right there. Also adding up another position, I would have scaled in my position again right there, and now we are just looking to hold. As I know that that manipulation move is a good move. I think I add another scale, or I think I don't add a scale into here, as we are already about 75% of our profit target being reached. Okay, so I scale in once more. My idea is that I would scale in if price comes back to that black line. I don't think it does come back to that black line, and so that is, you'll see me removing this red arrow, because I would not have scaled in if it did not come back into that black line like I had wanted to. So you're gonna see me remove that one. And so really I would have only scaled in twice on this position. We would have gotten our run above 932, and I would have been you also see me earlier in the video moving my stop loss to below this the shaded area where we found support at. That was where I would have been. I would have reduced my risk, and at the point in which price begins to run higher, I would have completely taken off my trade once we reached that 932. I would have went break even, shall I say, and taken off 80% of the trade at 932. Here's where we get that run into that midnight opening price. We're gonna see it pop there. We are officially, this is a W trade at this moment, break even, and we allowing for price to continue to run. I'm looking for the next profit target that we will look to shave off more of our trade, which will come in at that high, which is at, you'll see me mark it out on the right chart first, and then go on the left chart and mark out the price, which I think was around like 952. Realized price is starting to shift lower. We got a change in the state of direction on the right hand side. I see that price is also traded below a fair value gap in which it found support on the left side. And so now you see me looking higher, looking at a higher time frame chart to see whether this shift move lower is could possibly be a support a change idea for a change in the state of delivery. You see we have 2 minutes left on this 7 hour candle, 7 a.m. candle. And now I am, again, it's traded below this low once more. So now I'm looking above the market to see where exactly could I anticipate a entry forming to give me to go short. I'm looking at the 15-minute now. And all of this is me gauging in anticipation, while also noticing that the other two stock indexes, Dow and ES, are now trading lower. So I'm anticipating Nasdaq to catch up and looking for an entry to get me in line with the market for a short. So you see me looking at that shaded inversion fair value area um, as a possible place of entry. You see now that price just runs, after that runs lower again. Now we have gotten a run below that low there. and I'm still just waiting for an entry. Now that we've taken these lows as well, that indicates to me even more that we are bearish. So now I'm really at this moment hunting for a possible entry. I see price running up, and I'm not concerned about this run higher. Um, the price action isn't confirming to me that this was just like a bullish or a bearish stop hunt to continue to run the market running higher, especially with the other indexes being as weak as they are at this moment. Now you see me marking out that fair value gap there as a possible entry, a price to come into. It is at this point that I look to the right chart and see that we did trade into that fair value gap, but we did not on the left side chart. So you will also see me moving the tool down to the area where I would have noticed, okay, all right, price will probably not go back to that area. So we going to market order in at 903.75. I want to see price trade below this low as a first indication that we are, in fact, bearish. You see me looking also at the opening price of the wick on the right side of the right chart. That is also another area that I'm looking for price to trade to and trade through. I also removed that low because the opening price of the that candle wick on the right chart is a more important price to me. So you see that arrow, I would have scaled in right there. I'm scaling in right there at that position as well. Um, I didn't mark out the inversion fair value gap that I was looking at as a reason for those scaling entries there, but it's a tiny gap that you know I seen. Now we got a trade below that low. I'm now anticipating price to stay below that low. This is me marking out where's that 2 to 1 that we could possibly take off the entry. But ultimately I'm confident that that low is coming. We're coming back below that low. Here I am marking out where I want to see price find some support. Ultimately it trades above that area. Not too much though. We get that run back below. At there, I would have under the idea that that is an order block. I would have scaled in on that that inch at that point right there as well. Would have added to the trade. Now we see the trade coming a little bit against me, but still in profit though. As you can see, this trade where I would have in market ordered in at, there was no drawdown. Um, so we've gotten that run higher above those relative equal highs there. And here's why I want to see price just fall now. I'm anticipating it fall. You see me delete that and choose the higher order block to support price. Once I get a trade back below that black line is where you'll see me and we also see a fair value gap forming here at this point. That's why I also add another entry, and that's me marking out the profit target. You see me reduce my stop as I believe that this fair value gap that I'm marking out here will hold price for lower prices. We're getting the reaction that I'm anticipating to see. You will notice me start to measure out that wick, the 50% um level of that wick. That is also a area in which I would have looked to scale, take a partial. As I think at this point I'm up 2 to 1 on this trade, so I would have taken a partial there. See price trades higher back into that fair value area. I'm not worried about it. Again, this is the area I want to see price be held below this area. So you see that red line at 864. That is where at this moment I'm thinking to myself, if it gets below or it gets to that red line, that is where I will take my partial at. I mean, I will book some of my profit. Here you can see me typing out what I would have been doing. My stop loss would have been break even, um, and I would take the partial at the red line. So we got in that red line, partial would be booked, and we would be holding the rest of our trade for the 227, 847 level. All but certain that we get that level now, and we'll see then these next two candles price trade below that low. Boom, we get our run below that low. We shave off more of our position, and we are now break even, just allowing this trade to run. To show you is here that I indicate the status of this trade, a W trade, as well as the trade to the left. The second trade that we took on the day, W trade, and the first trade was a loss. So you will see me outline that as well. And that is the business for